Let's do a self-exploration meditation on balancing the polarities. You will need an elastic band or a rubber band for this self-inquiry. Let the eyes of the waker close. Let both the hands hold the band in a relaxed position. Place your hands on your lap so that there is no strain because of holding the band for the entire self-inquiry. Ensure that you hold the rubber band with both the hands. Relax and sit comfortably. Notice your interest or excitement about this self-inquiry meditation. If there is an interest or excitement regarding the understanding of the self-inquiry, recognize that excitement. Do you recognize that you are now assuming I am excited or I am not excited? The reality is that either the excitement wave is there or you, the witness, are. You, the witness, are naturally detached because you cannot meet the excitement wave. You can only know it. Observe the excitement from the dispassionate vantage point of the witness. That excitement is akin to the stretched position of the band. If there is an absence of excitement or there is a dullness, that is akin to the relaxed position of the band. Gauge your interest, gauge your own excitement, and allow the waker holding the band to stretch it appropriate to the gauged interest or excitement. If the excitement is very high, you will see there is an immense force in the stretched band. If it is moderate, you will recognize the moderate force in the band. And if the excitement is low or absent, you will recognize the absence of the pulling force in the band. Become aware if you are able to appropriately understand the force of the current excitement or interest in this self-inquiry. Now, notice the waker's body sitting comfortably in its seat. Observe how all the muscles of the body are relaxed and comfortable. Observe how relaxation feels. Are you able to see that you are only assuming that my body is relaxed? The reality is that either the body arising is known or the relaxation wave is known. You, the witness, are the knower that remains detached from both. Observe this reality from the dispassionate vantage point of the witness. Right now, what you are observing is the relaxation wave. The relaxation wave is akin to the relaxed position of the band in the hands of the waker. Bring the elastic band to as much of a relaxed position as you can gauge in your relaxation wave. Now, intentionally bring up a thought. bring up a thought that this self inquiry cannot be done without an elastic band. Observe carefully how the force of the thought feels. Are you aware that right now you are assuming this is my thought, while the reality is that either the thought wave is or the feeling of mindness is. You, the witness, are merely the knower. Remain detached. Stay at a distance from both the known thought wave as well as the known mindness wave. Observe the force of the thought from your dispassionate vantage point. Now, stretch the band which is in the hand of the waker as much as you can gauge the force of the thought to be. Notice carefully. If the excitement regarding this self inquiry gets prolonged, the same excitement becomes painful. On the other hand, if the excitement reduces, that also becomes painful. Understand the mechanism of balancing the polarity. It is an automatic mechanism of consciousness. The balance will happen irrespective of whether the excitement continues or the excitement drops. Stretch the band in the waker's hand accordingly by gauging your own force of excitement at this moment. Let's take the example of the relaxation of the waker's body. Take your attention to the relaxation. Do you recognize if that relaxation gets prolonged, it becomes painful? On the other hand, if the relaxation goes away completely, it becomes painful. This is simply the mechanism of consciousness that is attempting to balance the polarities. Pay attention to the relaxation wave and accordingly stretch the band in the waker's hand. Attempt to understand the change in the force, the change that is recognized between the relaxation earlier and the relaxation now. Now bring up the same thought that we experimented with a few moments ago. The same thought. This self-inquiry cannot be done without an elastic band. Observe the change in the force of the thought. Do you recognize that consciousness has switched its polarity, trying to balance, trying to attain zeroness? Attempt to gauge the change in the force of thought and accordingly stretch the band in the waker's hand. Just like we experimented now with the feeling of excitement, with the sensation of relaxation, and with the thought about this inquiry. Continue to experiment with every arising that occurs naturally. Sitting in silence, simply observe. Simply observe. Simply observe. Allow the eyes of the waker to open. Right now, the perception of sight appeared and disappeared. Experiment with the perception of sight on your own in silence. Continue to do the same with every arising. It doesn't matter whether it is a thought, a feeling, a sensation, the perception of sound, the perception of taste, the perception of smell, the perception of touch. Every arising that appears has the wrapper of a positive, negative, or neutral force around it. Observe the truth. Simply observe, because you, the witness, cannot do. You can only know. Observe the truth that the relaxation of pleasure is pain. Plus 100 begets minus 100. One cannot be without the other. Just like the elastic band, if it is stretched, it needs to come back to zero. Pain and pleasure are co-located. They operate hand in hand. This is the intrinsic mechanism of seeking. Continue in silence with open eyes, experimenting the stretch and the relaxation of the elastic band, proportionate to the force of the current arising. Are you able to see that seeking is an intrinsic quality of consciousness? It doesn't matter how wonderful the thought is. The same thought that brings pleasure also brings pain. It doesn't matter how wonderful a relationship is. The same relationship that brings pleasure also brings pain. It doesn't matter how beautiful an event or situation is. The same situation that brings pleasure also brings pain. This is the force of seeking. This force fools the witness. The witness interprets the positive force as pleasure, the negative force as pain. Both forces are co-located. You cannot take the pleasant and get rid of the unpleasant. Both are two sides of the same coin. Quit assuming that something is pleasurable or something is painful. Erase these words from your dictionary, because the same thing that is plus 100 is also minus 100. It's not pleasant, it's not painful. Those are merely interpretations. Reject the positive and the negative poles. Stand firmly at zero. The witness is zero. Then you will see the plus 100 and the minus 100 is merely a magic trick. Reject all illusions. Begin from the inside. Stand as the witness. Refuse the outer. If an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. If broken by an inside force, life begins. Begin from the inside. Stand as the witness. Refuse the outer. Balance the polarities of Rajas and Tamas. Be the Sattva. Be the zero. Be the Sattva. Be the zero. Be the Sattva. Be the zero.